Ladies and gentlemen, in 60 minutes flat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his cabinet did what many others have failed to do. First, the Prime Minister signed on the file himself, hiking the scholarships of those who have been martyred fighting terror in this country. And in perhaps the first cabinet meeting which lasted 60 minutes, the fact was that he took bold decisions which were the need of the hour, which were taken so that those who are the backbone of India were taken care of. One for the farmers and the other for the braves who lay down their lives for our motherland. In a bid to salute our soldiers, the Modi Sarkar today increased funds for the flagship Prime Minister Scholarship Scheme that is meant for children of our martyrs. At the same time, the government widened the PM Kisan Yojana to include all farmers for the very first time. While the monthly funds for the sons and daughters of our martyrs was raised to 2,500 for the sons and 3,000 rupees for the daughters, in a parallel move, they sanctioned 6,000 rupees per year for every single farmer, something that was restricted to farm holdings of up to 2 hectares before election. In fact, even the daughters of our braves have been paid due respect, as their scholarship funds have seen a monthly rise of more than 750 rupees, the amount now standing at 3,000 rupees. At the same time, the newly inducted Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has confirmed that the government had already taken steps to double farmer income and also launch a farmer pension scheme for farmers above the age of 60 years. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is day one of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and let's listen in to that announcement.
प्रधानमंत्री जी को यह लगता था कि कृषि का क्षेत्र मुनाफे का क्षेत्र बनना चाहिए, इसलिए सरकार के खजाने की राशि किसी न किसी योजना के माध्यम से किसान की जेब तक पहुंचे। इसलिए पिछले दिनों पीएम किसान सम्मान योजना सृजित की गई और उस योजना में 6,000 रुपया प्रति वर्ष लघु और सीमांत किसान जो 2 हेक्टेयर से कम जोत वाले हैं इनको दिया जाए, यह सुनिश्चित हुआ।
And the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight, on day one, has Modi Sarkar lived up to its promises? That's the question, and that's the big debate that's coming up. Modi Sarkar 2 with Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan delivered on day one.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight, Dr. Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the BJP, Smita Prakash, editor ANI, Major General G.D. Bakshi, defense analyst Chetan Singh, political analyst Dr. Garga Chatterjee and Nishant Verma. But first to a segment that's called The Standpoint, where Dr. Sambit Patra takes on Nishant Verma. And Nishant Verma, you've been a staunch critic of the Modi government. Well, Modi beat your expectations, got 303, and on day one, after taking oath, his first decision has been to hike the scholarships for our martyrs, and the second decision for our farmers. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, not just a slogan like Garibi Hatao for the Congress. It is a mantra that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has delivered to the country on day one.
Okay, thank you so much for this understanding that everything has been delivered on day one. But on a very frank note, last 3 days I have been understanding the vibes that I have been getting from various analysts, even political people who are from BJP, is that Modi 2.0 is actually criticizing themselves Modi 1.0, and which is a good thing. I do understand certain decisions have been taken today. It's good for the country. Why not? Things should be hiked up. and benefits should be passed on to the citizens. There is no doubt about it. Governments are supposed to do that. But on the other hand, I will still not criticize Modi 2.0. It's a very long way to go. What I have understood is that the big failure of Modi 1.0 will now need to be tackled by Modi 2.0, and my best of lucks for that. Yes, there is one more point. Certain ministries that have been offered today and allocated is something that I'm wearing black for that. There need to be a higher discussion, a better discussion for that. Baki, my best wishes to Government of India. You may call it Modi 2.0 because Government of India is finally for the Indian government, India. And देखिए अच्छा कीजिए, ज़्यादा आशा मुझे तो है नहीं.
आशा नहीं है. पहले दिन की डिलीवरी के बाद भी आपको आशा नहीं है, तो आपको क्या अंधकार देखने की आदत है? Dr. Sambit Patra, well, your time is up. You didn't utilize 18 seconds of your time on standpoint. So the floor is now with Dr. Sambit Patra, and Dr. Sambit Patra,
they didn't utilize 5 years.
These critics
they did not utilize
really
5 years
wedded to the idea of criticism of Modi, no matter what he does?
See, Navika, as far as criticism is concerned, criticism is an integral part of democratic politics, so I welcome every kind of criticism. But we have to understand certain issues over here. Number one, what is the first message that the cabinet delivers today? That work from the very beginning. No leeways, no vacations, no leaves, no ground for playing. It has to be work, work and work. Number two message is Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. The first priority of this country is the security of this country along with the farmers of this country. And Samman of the farmers, that is what the Modi government cares for. What is the prime aim of the Modi government? The first term of Modi government talked about increasing the farm income, doubling the farm income by 2022. I would say that the foundations for the same was laid in the first term, while the steps in fact has been taken in the second term. So when each and every farmer has been included in the Pradhan Mantri Samman Yojana, it only means that we'll bolster whatever we have to do for the farmers. Thirdly, and very importantly, we have to remember one thing. I mean, as far as the Modi government is concerned, Modi government has always said that the national security cannot be compromised. And so when he gives out a message that the sons and daughters of the martyrs are extremely important, please link this up along with the guest list who were there for the swearing in ceremony yesterday. A great deal of importance has been given to an area about which most of the previous governments had been quite lackadaisical. So I congratulate the present cabinet for the same.
Thank you, Dr. Sambit Patra, and I'm opening up the debate. And Chetan Singh, you don't seem to be very convinced. The fact is, the heart is in the right place. Modi government has made it very clear, and it was the first file that Narendra Modi as Prime Minister signed. In fact, if we can just put out those visuals, yes, Prime Minister Modi going, offering flowers to Sardar Patel and Mahatma Gandhi, and the first file that he signs after that is the file to increase the scholarship for children of martyrs, and he includes children of martyred police forces in states fighting terror and Naxalism. Widens the ambit. It's the heart in the right place, you would say.
No, I mean, this is a very strong message which is coming out from the Prime Minister office and by himself. So there is no doubt at all. But however, like what I have heard, I am sure like you would also agree with me, we all have been hearing that farmer is born in debt, lives in debt and dies in debt. Having said this, these 2,000 rupees, 4,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, I don't know what kind of difference it's going to make. First. Second, we have seen the state of the farmers, not only North India, Hindi belt. This new agriculture minister, he is, Mr. Tomar is from Madhya Pradesh. That too again Hindi belt, excellent, farming ground. But when it comes down to Tamil Nadu, we have seen the Tamil Nadu farmers, how they were protesting time and again. Again, the most important out here to work on the indigenization. We are dependent on foreign policies. Farmers are going through a very tough time. Look at the seed, look at the fertilizers, all these things. If you're going to look at equipment plays a very vital role, and I'm sure Samit Patra ji would agree with me. Until unless you're not going to address these kind of core issues, how are we going to serve the purpose? It is just, superficial. Let's go deep into it. Like you'll give 5,000 rupees, but I'm sure that the urea is going to get 10,000 rupees expensive. Is it going to solve the purpose? I have my serious doubts about it. So having said this, what is important to work on it right now? And here is the indigenization. And I'm sure Samit Patra ji would agree with me that most of the farmers, see, poorest to poorest people has voted for this government right now. Poorest to poorest district, poorest to poorest people. Farmer plays a very vital role, but they are crying. Look at what we are eating. It is all poison.
You are making a self-defeating point. You are saying the poorest of poor and the farmers have voted for Modi, and he is acknowledging them. Smita Prakash, isn't the Prime Minister acknowledging the same distress that was outlined before the elections, and he is addressing the problem number one on day one? Is the opposition, and that really is the point, is the opposition just criticizing for the sake of criticism?
I don't know even if the opposition is criticizing. I mean, there are random people who are this, this Balraj Sahni kind of live in debt, die in debt. This romanticism of farmers is something that this government probably wants to do away with, and which is why governance is the first show of this government, where they've taken the decision, at least thank God, admitting that there is some kind of a crisis in the farm sector and taking agriculture, the problem, by the horns and deciding on doing what they have promised to do. Because the, Prime Minister Modi has promised so much to his electorate, and this long election process means that governance has been put on hold for almost for 2.5 months,
government,
and it's only been politics.
Then it
so
is a
that
matter
is
of
why,
concern.
may I please
Maximum
complete, sir? Nobody interrupted you. Please let me complete what I had to say.
Please go ahead and complete
talking about, oh my God, farmers. No. Do this Manoj Kumar kind of dialogue, in film studios. When you are actually talking about the situation of farmers, you have to get down to brass tacks, and thank God that decisions have been taken from day one, and not dramabazi and dialogue-bazi anymore. That should have been over with during the campaign process, and thank God it's over with. Even the opposition is not doing dramabazi like you people are doing in TV studios. Even the opposition has not come up with this kind of sloganeering. They are waiting and watching as to what this government is doing, and the government has come out with
Chetan Singh, please calm down. You are complicating too many issues. Are you talking about farmers issue? Are you talking about adulteration? Are you talking about organic farming? आप बोल क्या रहे हैं? आप बोल क्या रहे हैं? Calm down.
ये burning issues हैं. It is not sensitive. It is burning. It is not
burning
important
issues
issue.
तो ये
And
तब
it's a
भी
time to
थे.
take
Burning
a
issues
strong
तो
call
ये
on it.
तब भी थे जब डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह प्रधानमंत्री थे. Farmers suicide महाराष्ट्र में तब से चल रहे हैं.
Navika ji, addressing voters. It's
One
different.
minute.
But when
You can't monopolize the entire debate. I have General G.D. Bakshi standing by, and General G.D. Bakshi, I want to ask you, when on day one, a Prime Minister walks into his office and the first file that he personally signs is a file increasing scholarships for martyrs' children. And the second decision that he takes is in a cabinet meeting where he not only increases the farm PM Kisan Yojana, but he also brings farmers under an insurance net. I want to ask you, General G.D. Bakshi, can you really find fault with the intentions of the Prime Minister and of the government?
The first day has a huge symbolism, and I think that is precisely what we have seen. In signing these two first files, he has spelled out the priority for his Modi government 2.0. May I point out in all humility that this election was unique in as much as national security was one of its primary planks. Pakistan-sponsored terror was a campaign clincher. It sort of overrode the issues of caste and creed and vote bank politics, and 50% voting percentages were won by this party on the basis of national security. So I am very glad that the Prime Minister has, by this symbolic gesture, I mean, you can't wipe out the problems of India all in the first day, first go, but you do send out a symbolic message. That is what has been sent. Having been said, we would request the Prime Minister
Bakshi Sahab, the
to
symbolic
keep the
message
focus
from the
on the Jai Jawan,
senior
Jai
leader,
Kisan
responsible
category.
leaders came
Because
in
can I please
2014
finish?
when they
Can I
got the
please finish?
mandate.
I didn't interrupt you. Can I please finish?
All right, sir, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What I was trying to state was that the bulk of our Jawans come from the farming households. They are Kisans, they are the children of Kisans. And this is the one category of Indians that makes the maximum sacrifices. The Jawan fights for you on the borders, lays down his life.
So what is the message here, sir? What is the message? What message you are trying to give, sir?
Disabled.
We all know this, sir. We all know
message
this.
here
We
is,
all know
sir,
this, that
this
Indian
is a
army is the
priority
Indian
sector.
defense forces are the most
Sir,
capable.
can I
and
finish?
they come from a very humble
Did you
background.
hear
We all know
anybody
that.
else interrupting
What
you?
message are we trying to
No,
give
no.
out here,
Did
sir?
you hear anybody
what
else
they are eating?
interrupting
Look at
you?
the farming condition of
No,
this
no.
country, sir.
Why are you just
थोड़ी
trying to
इज्जत
heckle?
तो बख्श दीजिए. He's a
We
senior
are-
retired
I respect him.
armed
I'm giving
forces
him all the
officer.
respect, but see, like, it is important
इतनी
to
इज्जत
address
तो
issues.
हम दे सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल, नवीका जी, मैं तो मना नहीं कर रहा.
लिप सर्विस तो यूपीए गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत दी, पर इज्जत तो
ये तो
थोड़ी
आप
सी
बोलने
दे
तो
दीजिए इस
दीजिए
शो
ना
पे.
साहब.
सर,
कम से
बोलिए
कम
ना, सर, बोलिए, सर.
उन्हें बोलने का मौका तो दे दीजिए.
नहीं, बिल्कुल बोलिए.
जब आप बोल रहे थे तो वो बीच में नहीं बोल रहे थे.
देखिए मैम, बट
1
फंडामेंटल
minute.
फोर इश्यूज है मैम.
सर 1 मिनट. यस जनरल बख्शी.
नहीं बट करके तो साहब आप अपने थैंक यू नाउ कैन आई काइंडली पॉइंट आउट दैट अ ग्रेट डील नीड्स टू बी डन. You know, Balakot was a great fillip for national morale. Balakot drew a line in the sand which we have to back up with military kinetic force, and Balakot threw up some lessons. I would earnestly request the present government to focus on air power. We are greatly, dangerously deficient.
Sir,
and I'm
Balakot-
sure with this positive, signal being sent out on day one, the armed forces will get the weapons and equipment that they have been waiting
Point well
for
made.
for the
Point
past
well
30
made,
years.
Major General
Then you
Bakshi.
also remember
So let
that
me get in
Therefore,
Dr. Garga
we are
Chatterjee. Let
down
me get
today
in Dr.
to
Garga
30.
Chatterjee. Dr. Garga Chatterjee.
I'm very certain that with this good start, we will get the focus on these deliverables.
Absolutely. And Dr. Garga Chatterjee, I want to ask you this. Major General G.D. Bakshi put it so well that there are the Jawans who guard our borders, and there are the Kisans from whose families many of these Jawans actually come. And the Prime Minister has addressed both concerns. One is the Kisan who feeds the country, and one is the Jawan who protects the country. Nobody is saying that problems of India will be solved on day one of Modi Sarkar too. But the fact is, a beginning which has its heart in the right place has been made. At least today, Dr. Garga Chatterjee, would you like to congratulate Prime Minister Modi for the move that he's made and the message that he sent through these decisions?
I would like to congratulate the Prime Minister for seeing the plight of debt-ridden, suiciding farmer community. Okay, 6,000 rupees is not much, but it is something. Okay. Having said that, I would like the government of India.
Thank God for
to
your
look upon
acknowledgement.
successful examples
Thank
where,
God for your
let's say,
acknowledgement. It's a beginning from your side as well.
Yes, he should look at examples where, for example, in states where farmer suicides do not happen. Okay, these are mostly non-BJP ruled states. There are successful models to prevent farmer suicide. There is nothing wrong in learning from people who oppose the BJP. Okay, Trinamool Congress, for example, has won the Krishi Karman award by the government of India for agricultural production for 5 years running. I think the government of India should send its representatives of the agriculture department. Prime Minister himself can come and learn how West Bengal is increasing, doing agricultural growth, increasing farmer income, and also getting awards from the center so that it can implement it in BJP ruled states to prevent the large number of farmer suicides happening there.
5 seconds.
Well, Dr. Sambit Patra, when the Prime Minister wants to go, Mamata Banerjee doesn't allow him to come in. Now, Dr. Garga Chatterjee on behalf of the Trinamool Congress has invited the Prime Minister and central ministers to take cue from the West Bengal model. Respond to him.
I'll of course convey the regards, the Jai Shri Ram of Mamata Banerjee to the Prime Minister, the greetings Jai Shri Ram to the Prime Minister from Mamata Banerjee. I'll do that. But coming to the topic proper. First and foremost, someone said, I heard two voices saying that what is in 2,000 rupees, what in 4,000 rupees, what is in 6,000 rupees. For God's sake, let's not demean our farmers. We may not find 2,000 rupees important or 6,000 rupees important. Remember, this money does not go for any kind of extravagance. This money is given for seed. This money goes to the account of the farmer for fertilizer. For us, it may not be a big amount, but it's a big amount for farmers who possess small land holdings, number one. Number two, remember, generally these kind of schemes come up in the last day of the ruling government because these are seen as schemes of appeasement. You know, remember the yesteryears of UPA when they were 500 rupees for the OROP while the government was to exit governance. In the very beginning, laying the foundation with the decision as such only shows that this government does not mean to appease, this government is serious about performance. Number three, and extremely importantly, I would like to state one thing, that this government is extremely serious as far as agriculture is concerned. Well, yes, I agree to the fact that there are a number of issues in the farming sector which still needs to be addressed. And a good government is one which realizes that as far as improvement in any sector is concerned, it is not an all or none phenomena. It is a continual phenomena. And that's why I praise the Modi government that in this continual phenomena, farmers find priority.
Samitji,
Nishant Verma, you know, I don't want you to brush this aside. First, the PM Kisan scheme used to cover 14.5 crore people. On day one, it's extended to 2 crore more farmers. That at a cost of about 90,000 crore to the exchequer. The Pradhan Mantri Kisan Pension Yojana also covers about 5 crore farmers, and the Kisan Samman Nidhi can finance the 55 rupees premium for this insurance scheme. The point I'm trying to make is that this is not a dole. This is trying to teach the farmers by holding their hand how to live independently with Samman, with their self-respect. Can you find fault with these decisions, Mr. Nishant Verma?
Okay, there is something called finding faults, there is something called criticizing and analyzing. Okay, I'll start with what Sambit Bhai said. Sambit Bhai said there is no appeasement politics done by BJP. We know much before the voting, that 2,000 rupees that went around in Kisan's accounts, we saw that. So that was appeasement, or maybe this is appeasement, whichever way you want to look at. Number two, yes, Navika ji, you rightly pointed about what about the coverage that was happening earlier and now. I think it's a good thing. Government should do that. Could have done it earlier also, but done is fine. But I'll go back to what G.D. Bakshi Saab said. And I'm thankful to General Saab for exposing Modi 1.0. He rightly pointed out that Balakot happened. Nobody talked about Pulwama RDX, but Balakot happened, and that, swung the elections in favor of Modi ji. It actually means Mr. Modi 1.0 had nothing to offer in the first 5 years. Sir, ye sach hai. They did not offer anything. Everything failed, and last minute, the Indo-Pak cricket or war or battle swings the mood away, and Modi ji is back 2.0. What about the deliverables of Modi 1.0? Not one deliverable. And now, by saying that, we laid we were sowing that time, we'll reap the harvest now. Sorry, you get 5 years to do so. You did not reap out anything.
Who gives
Now
them
what you are
5 years,
doing
sir?
is good.
जनता
It
ने
is good
उन्हें
for my country.
जनता ने उन्हें 5
अच्छी
साल
बात
और
है।
दिए
आप
हैं।
करिए।
Can I respond?
जनता ने
आज
5 साल
आपने
और
क्या
दिए
नहीं
हैं।
किया?
आपने बड़ी कोशिश की, लेकिन ऑपोजिशन गॉट डेसिमेटेड।
हाँ, तो मैं
जनरल जीडी
कहाँ
बख्शी,
मना कर
जनरल
रहे
जीडी
हैं?
बख्शी इज
हम तो
रिस्पॉन्डिंग।
नहीं कह रहे हैं कि उनको नहीं दिए हैं, पर सवाल तो करेंगे।
जनरल जीडी बख्शी,
Sir, with your kind permission, can one respond? Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, Navika, the right to life is the most basic right. You have the right to a job, the right to a food, you know, the right to employment, the right to education, only if you are alive. In the last 30 years, we have lost 80,000 Indian citizens to Pakistani-based terrorism, and so far our responses were confined to reactive defensive measures, consequence management on our own side. Nothing had been done to stop this asymmetric warfare offensive. The first step we saw in 2016 with the surgical strike. We were hopeful that it would be two-way traffic. From then on, the right to hot pursuit would be exercised on an almost daily basis.
Insulting
But we,
1971
for
and
some reason,
1999.
all the
Two different governments.
Kabutar Brigade,
Are you insulting them?
Can I please finish?
Are you insulting
I heard you
1971
very
and
patiently.
1999?
Just kindly show
Are you
me the
insulting
same
Indira
patience.
Gandhi and Atal Bihari both?
Can you
for Modi
show
appeasement?
the same patience, sir? Sir, can somebody else also talk apart
No,
from
sir,
you?
because you are misleading. You are misleading. This is not the first offensive that
please.
India
No,
did
no,
against
misleading
Pakistan.
how?
You are misleading. I am sorry.
You are telling
I respect
us,
you for your uniform.
You are telling
but
us
you cannot
that
mislead the
terror
country.
is not a problem. Terrorism is not a problem for the people of India.
I am saying, are you
For those people who
questioning
keep dying, it's not a
1971
problem.
and 1999? Why do you deviate?
It's not a problem.
Remain on the topic. Why do you deviate
Just
like Modi
because
Sarkar?
you did not
Remain on the
respond
topic, sir.
after 26,
I call
11.
you, I address you, sir. But
Just
you should
because
remain
you
on the
did not
topic. It is a
respond
habit
after
of
Mumbai,
running away
does
from
that
the main
mean
topic.
The people of India are expendable?
अरे आप बताइए ना
Are the people
आप
of
मुंबई
India
की बात कर रहे हैं
expendable?
1971
That is what I'm
क्या
asking
था?
you.
You were serving
Are
then.
the people,
1999
the
क्या
ordinary
था?
people
Atal
of
Bihari
India
साहब was the Prime
expendable,
Minister.
sir?
Are you insulting?
What have you done to protect their
कमाल
lives?
करते हैं सर
What
आज
have
भी
you
मैं
done
कहता हूं,
to
stop
raise
Dr.
doubting the
Sambit
country
Pata, let me
for
get you
Modi
in.
appeasement.
Let me get you in, and why don't you take on the question that has been raised by Nishant Verma by continuously talking about 2016 and Balakot airstrikes? Are you belittling the effort of our forces in 1971 and 1999?
There was a point kept by respected G.D. Bakshi sir. So what is wrong in it? All that he was trying to convey through his word was, well, national security is an extremely important event, which is something the government should care for. And after post Balakot, the message sent out to the world was, India cannot be any more taken as a soft state. India knows how to react. What is wrong in this?
So
well, yes. This was the message which went out to the whole world.
Which government has not done
the
that?
topic over here is farmers
Mr.
and security.
Which government has not done that?
Why do you all attack everyone?
Can you focus any nation who is technologically advanced in farming and defense?
उसका जवाब दीजिए.
Sir, please, can I complete?
Let's not fight delivery करेंगे. नाविका जी, ये day one की promises देखिए. बात नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. एक
शर्मा साहब सुनिए.
How the Venezuela crisis was there. They were not being able to produce food. So please do not.
Navika, I don't want to go to Venezuela.
Allow Dr. Sambit Pata to respond. He says Jai Jawan can't be at the cost of Jai Kisan. Respond.
Navika, we six over here, six panelists over here, if we feel that we are the most intelligent people of the whole world, then I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am. This is not the fact. The most intelligent people are the people of India. They have shown their intelligence by voting for Mr. Narendra Modi in 2019. Hello, smell the coffee. The elections are over. The new government is already formed. The first day of working has started. So for God's sake, let's not fight cats and dogs in the channel over here. The work is already over. Let's be sober. And as far as Mr. Sharma is concerned, Mr. Sharma, your prime concern that brinjals and ladyfingers are poisoned now. Modi has not poisoned your brinjal.
Are you belittling 1971 and 1999?
निशांत जी, आज वो आपकी गाड़ी कहाँ गई रात वाली?
इधर उधर की भाषण क्यों दे रहे हैं?
निशान जी, आपकी
आएगी
गाड़ी आ
थोड़ी
गई है,
देर में,
कार
आप
आ गई है,
जवाब
आप कार में
दीजिए।
बैठिए, मैं जवाब दे रहा हूँ, आपकी कार आ गई है।
देखा, सवाल का
आप
जवाब नहीं दे
कार में
पा
बैठिए ना,
रहे।
मैं
ये
जवाब दे
देश
रहा
को
हूँ,
गुमराह
तो सही
करने
है।
वाली भारतीय जनता पार्टी
दूंगा।
ये
वो कार
सिर्फ
वाले भैया जरा इनको
ऑफिस
कार में बैठा दो, ये कार से बाहर बैठते ही नाराज हो जाते हैं।
और राजनीति करती है।
अच्छा।
एक सीधे सवाल
अरे
का
गुस्सा
जवाब नहीं
मत
दे
हो,
सकते।
वो कार वाले भैया जरा इनको
गाड़ी
कार में
और
बैठा हो,
वैगन
मेरे को
और
जवाब
बैन की
देने
बात
दो।
करते हैं।
आप बैठो
जवाब
कार में, मैं
दीजिए।
जवाब दे रहा हूँ, आप गुस्सा मत हो।
आपने 1971 और 1999
ओहो, ऐसे गुस्से से अटैक मत
कैसे
करो,
किया यहाँ
आराम
पे?
से। ठीक है, हाँ। किसने भी लिटिल किया?
क्यों?
किसने भी
अटैक
लिटिल
करना
कर
तो
दिया?
आपने सिखाया है, अब झेलिए। जवाब दीजिए नाविका जी के सवाल का।
Navika, I'm not able to understand. Please get him into that moving car, otherwise he really loses it out. I don't understand what is he debating and what is he discussing. General G.D. Bakshi made a point against terrorism, and we should all stand with the... किसने भी लिटिल किया? मैंने तो 1971 के बारे में बात भी नहीं की है. I didn't even talk about 1971. What is he shouting all about?
Let me get in Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, you know, can the opposition, go red in the face every time 2016 surgical strikes and 2019 Balakot airstrikes are mentioned? You know, why does a mention of 2016 and 2019 actually mean that the corollary is 1971 and 1999 have been belittled? Why?
No, obviously that nobody bought that argument. Nobody even made that argument to the electorate. Nobody talked about 1971 when they went about campaigning. It's only here in your TV studio that they're talking about it, because neither the Congress party, nor Mamta Di, nor anybody said that 1971 was a bigger success than surgical strikes or anything like that. It's only out here. National security till today has never had divergence of views. I don't understand why we are even discussing whether which martyr is greater than which martyr, whether today's or 71's. As far as national security is concerned, we should all be on one page that whatever the government does for those who survived the attack and those who are the children of those who have sacrificed their lives in any attack should be given scholarships, should be given government jobs, should be given incentives. Let us all stand by any government which takes decisions towards that.
Point well made, Smita Prakash, and that really is the direction in which the Modi government has gone. General G.D. Bakshi, I'm completely out of time, so 30 seconds to you for the point that you want to make on the Modi government's first decision.
You know, Navika, the simple point that I wish to make is 1971 was a magnificent victory. It was 50 years ago. We solved the problem that we were facing of the refugees then. Last 30 years, we have been facing terror. Terrors inspired and, executed by Pakistan. Now, we can't say we did 71, therefore we will not respond to terror. That is the simple point that I am making.
You've hit the nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. And those people who actually question this are people who are not in a position to appreciate the challenges of national security. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the moot point. On national security, on standing by our Jawans, our martyrs, their children, and on standing by our farmers. Can there ever be two sides on that? That's something the opposition really needs to think about, because on day one, Modi Sarkar too delivered Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. The other big debate coming up on the other side. The other big debate tonight is the economic slump that we are staring at tonight. India has lost the tag of being the fastest growing economy, letting China take the lead, with the GDP for the fourth quarter dropping to 5.8% from 8% in the beginning of the year. And just as we are trying to cope up with this bit of news came the other jolt, and that is that unemployment in the country is now at a 45-year high. The big controversy here is that a leaked report on jobs that came before elections had given out the exact same numbers, but the government had dismissed it on the ground saying that this was a draft report. Today, the Modi government has had to eat humble pie. The government has acknowledged and delivered the same report officially, showing that the unemployment rate currently stands at 6.1%. And that is the debate. Job data dhoka. That's the big debate and the legitimate question tonight. Did NDA bury the data deliberately before elections? That's the question and that's the debate coming up.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Dr. Sambit Patra and Dr. Garga Chatterjee are now joined by Sanjeev Ahluwalia, Advisor, Observer Research Foundation. And Dr. Sambit Patra, it's legitimate to ask you this question. The same report, the same number of 6.1% employment, a 45-year high, urban unemployment at 7.8%, rural unemployment at 5.3%. These were the numbers of the leaked report. But just before elections, you buried this report just so that you could wait for elections to get over. और इसमें डॉक्टर संबित पात्रा लोग पूछेंगे आपने देश से झूठ क्यों बोला?
Navika, first and foremost, I deny this allegation, which you have every right to put on us, that knowingly the government tried to hide the data which is out today. Just keeping in mind the elections. Number one, the government held a press conference then and the government declared publicly, well, yes, this is a draft being prepared. The corroboration, etc. has yet to be done. And once that is complete, in a month or two, the data would be released, which has been released today. If the government's intentions were wrong, if the data were to be fudged, if the government has to look the other way from the reality, then the government would have anyway fudged the data today, which the government did not do. Which means that the government's intentions are absolutely right. Secondly, let me also take, though the data sounds something quite different, but let me take the opportunity of congratulating Modi government, one, because of the very fact that for the first time in India we have job data. Otherwise, never ever in the history of jobs have these data been accumulated, have these been ever calculated and put into public fora, because this data collection in real time was not possible as yet. Up till now, we still have to improve. Whatever data we may be having, still the calculated processes have to be improvised. Thirdly, and extremely importantly, look, data or no data, the biggest database is the minds of the people who have voted. The voters show their faith on Narendra Modi government, one, and that's the reason as to why we have Modi government, two. Just tell me one thing, if people would have been unemployed in mass scale, if people would have been on the street in the mass scale, would the youth have voted for Modi? Of course not. So the data on the street shows that people love Narendra Modi for his performance.
Well, Dr. Garga Chatterjee, that's the argument of the BJP. If people were jobless across India, there would have been revolts, there would have been demonstrations. That hasn't happened. In fact, the same people have voted for Prime Minister Modi. What more proof do you want?
So before this data, the other point of data 45, because there is a 45-year high unemployment, must be 45 years ago there was unemployment very high. So this is even more than that. Was 45 years ago there was mass protest, this, that? No. The question is that this explains a very broad bad situation that is existing. Okay. And also Sambit Patra said something that there was earlier no such data. Then either Sambit Patra is right, or Times Now is right, or Sambit Patra is lying, or Times Now is lying. Because if Times Now is saying that 45 years ago this high unemployment was there and now it has been more than that, there must be two time points, right, of data available across which you can compare. So this cannot be unprecedented data to start to say that. Having said that, we must then as Indian citizens ask, a person who was our Prime Minister, a party which is our ruling party, all through the election campaign hardly talked about jobs. The claim is that there was great jobs, great this, great that, EPFO data, this, that, all kinds of indirect, mumbo jumbo, except the very
Dr.
fact
Garga
that
Chatterjee, isn't that your failure? Isn't that your failure that you could not bring the campaign talk to the talk of jobs, and you got waylaid because the agenda was set by Modi and not by the opposition, and the opposition has been decimated. Sanjeev Ahluwalia, do you agree with this argument that is being put out?
Let me, you ask me this question, let me respond to it. Novika, please, you ask me this question, let me respond to it very briefly.
Okay.
The fact that you asked me this question and you did not wait for me for the answer, and when I was answering my question, you also cut in between. This happened all through. Media is a very important medium for the people to understand what is going on.
Okay.
If you remember, we had this, an NSSO data leak when it happened, and you again constantly in Times Now I was cut, right? So how does this get communicated to the people? Even you have to do think about how this is going on.
All right, Sanjeev Ahluwalia, for the politician, the messenger is the first one that needs to be shot, and the media has made Modi win and not been able to carry the opposition's voice to the people of India. Do you actually agree with that argument?
Navika, I mean, my view on this is that the fact is that it's easier to find a job today than it is to find jobs data. So the jobs data from different sources has a lot of noise in it, and I think you need to have a very hard look at data being generated on all accounts by different sides for political purposes. I don't think that the broad argument that because Mr. Modi won with a significant mandate, there is therefore no joblessness is true. We must remember that here, when we are talking about jobs, we are only talking about the 100 million jobs in the formal economy, as opposed to about 700 million people who are in the age group where they can work, and about 400 million people who want to work. So it's a very small segment that unemployment data and the jobs data actually caters to. The real issue over here is that are there as many good jobs as there should be? Of course they are not, because you see a lot of people who may already be employed today, not necessarily unemployed, but who may be employed but at not so good jobs, applying for jobs in the government, which are very high income jobs relative to what you can get in the private sector.
Fair point. And Dr. Garga Chatterjee, the other argument of the government is that you're actually comparing apples and oranges. The earlier jobs data was based on expenditure of households as criteria. Now the new data that has come in is jobs data which uses education as a criteria. So clearly you're completely ruling out the unorganized sector, you're ruling out, and you're taking two different bases for calculating this employment data. And that really answers your question. I'm completely out of time. 30 seconds to you, Dr. Garga Chatterjee.
Very briefly, number one, NSSO is one of the best institutions in the world for doing this kind of sampling with very rigorous method. So I do not think, me, you, Shombit Patra or anyone sitting in this studio can pass just random judgments on this. And number two, even the way of calculating GDP was changed by the BJP government. Did that stop them from claiming that GDP is going up? This and that, all kinds of false claims. No.
You're fixing the parameters. That's the charge. 10 seconds to you.
No one can fix the people of this country. Those who are alleging that we are fixing parameters, let them answer. Did we fix the people of this country? No.
That's the only certificate that the BJP needs today. The people's mandate cannot be fixed. And if they voted for Modi, clearly they couldn't be so much in trouble because of Modi's policies. That's all you can say about this controversy. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. Good night from me, Padmaja Joshi, coming up next. Don't go away.